and get us to a grand finals, which will be a best of 5 later on this evening. So looking forward, by the end of today, we will know which team is our Han Tour World Finals 2016 champion. I'm Breaking CBK. Of course, I'm joined by Groste here, going to be casting with me here in this first series of Mith versus MRR. How's it going, Groste?
Oh, it's going great. I'm super excited for this game. The two big teams in Thailand. This is going to be such a good series.
You know, one of the things that we were talking about going into today is, of course, obviously being the brackets right here, the matchups that we ended up having. You know, it was late last night, so I don't know who was tuning in, who happened to be tuning in now, that was tuning in last night in case you missed it. Sync versus MRR took place. Now, Sync needed to win one of those games to move on to the top 4. They did that. They won the first game. Things were good. They were going on. It was them and MRR. However, that second game still had some significance in that the winner of that second game would then move on to play Complexity here today, and the loser would play Mith. Now, we were kind of having this argument a little bit before we came on the cast here, whether or not Sync made the right decision of winning that game number 2 to play Complexity. I personally think they did. They've beaten Complexity so many times lately, online especially. I think that they definitely wanted to win that match for that reason, and I think that they got the matchup that they were looking for instead of Mith. So
yeah, I think when you look at it like that way, when you look at it from the perspective of both teams playing each other so much, they know each other so well, that's a huge thing. The reason why I kind of thought maybe Mith would be the better matchup for them is because Sync plays like Mith, except in my opinion, they just do it better. So in that regard, I thought maybe, Zlap was looking at it like, hey, let's just play them. We should win based on the fact that we can do what they do, but better.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it is. I think in the long run, it will be the best decision to play Complexity, just because of how well they do know each other.
Again, it ultimately goes back to you have to beat the best of the best. You ultimately have to beat the great teams, obviously, to become those world champion. And that's what Sync's mission was from the beginning, of course. That's what all these teams' missions were. So now about the matchup that we have coming at us, we have Mith Mix versus MRR here in the first semifinals. Now, I had the chance to cast MRR, at least that did I have the chance to cast MRR? Yeah, I did. I guess D-Dog, that's right.
Yes.
I was like,
we did it together.
Second, did we? Yeah, so we had the chance to cast MRR versus D-Dog yesterday. We're going to check them out. I got to say, that matchup, we were talking about it even after and everything. MRR obviously played great. It was a little disappointing to see D-Dog, play that way from when they played Sync earlier. They looked really good, but MRR, they looked really good themselves, and there was some interesting stuff that happened. Punk Pain, though, he carried as expected. Should have won. We saw that series. The staff of the Master Pebbles, and he's done that twice now in this event. Yep. I don't know what the deal is, but hey, it worked in that case at least. So, but yeah, what do you think about MRR here?
I think they definitely look great right now. I think their whole team is playing really well together, and their strategies have been working pretty well. We saw Punk Bang have a little bit of a slow start on Doctor that game, but once he got that kind of hold off by himself by the Tempest, he really turned it on then. So hopefully he can just start that way, and we're going to see a really strong MRR.
Yeah, so MRR obviously, in some ways, maybe a lot of favorites for us because we know this team from DreamHack. These are the DreamHack champions, after all. We've known this team for a while. We've known several players, Chitawan, Punkpang, God KSSA. These are players from the Thai scene that our region definitely knows. You take a look at the players right there. That's actually Punkpang in front right there. He just really seems like a fun guy. He's almost like a Mickey presence. He is a younger guy. I think he's actually 20 years old, but hey, I consider that younger, definitely. He's obviously a great player, and again, just a fun team here. Now, on the other side of it, we have Mith Mix. Now, this is a team where going into this event, again, from our experience, we didn't necessarily get to really know this team too much. However, they've really shown at this event, and again, they did win the GSL on top of this recently, the most recent Thailand that happened. They're a dangerous team. They won Group A. They beat Complexity 2-0 in a pretty good fashion. So I think that they arguably are the favorites here in this matchup.
I would have to agree. Going into this event, I watched a few games from them. I didn't think much of them. I thought they were decent, but after watching them in this event, they've really shown how strong they are as an entire team.
Yeah.
Their early game presence is so strong. So I don't know. I'm excited to see how they do against MRR because they play each other a lot. They're much like Sync and Cole, where they definitely know each other.
Yeah.
So it should be good.
That's a good point. Yeah, and again, we're having discussions as far as how it worked out with this for the brackets. We have our Thai teams going at it, NAEU teams going at it, and then obviously the winner of each will play in the grand finals. I love that. I love the fact that we have a tie versus NAEU grand finals. I think it's so appropriate here for what is these World Finals of 2016. We're really going to find out who that best team is in the world, not just in its respected region. It will be in the world. So we are just about getting ready to start here. So dang it, I want to go over a couple more things. Well, we can kind of do that anyways while we're talking about the games, obviously. But ladies and gentlemen, it looks like game number 1 of this best of 3 is officially ready to go here as we are now into the pick screen here. So we are finally kicking off for what is day number 2 now. Again, the bracket stage day. By the end of today, we will know our 2016 Han Tour World Final Champion. That's always awesome knowing going into a day that is going to be the case. So one of the things I did want to bring up, though, as we're now developing into this draft here, Mith Mix. A couple players that I'm looking forward to seeing from their side. One is this 5'6", 7'8" guy. He is big here in Thailand. He's basically the equivalent of like a Slapped over in our region. You know, he's at the Atlanta event. He has a lot of fans. I think he might even have the most fans here in Thailand. It seems like he was like captain of the All-Star match, obviously, against Team Slap. So I'm looking forward to seeing his play here. The reaction of the crowd. I
think so too. I think he's going to get a big boom here from when he starts making some big plays. So, yeah, he's definitely an exciting player. He's done some interesting things.
You know, another player as we see Monarch first pick, so that's been happening a little bit here for these tied teams, MRR included. Another thing that's actually I'm excited to see about Mith here is Carry ACT. This guy, you know, on the podcast we were talking about who this guy is. As far as who this guy is, we didn't really know the name, Carry ACT. Wasn't a name that I recognized. I don't know if others happened to recognize from previous events, but going into this event, you know, we saw the stats at least, and he had some ridiculous stats. It was like 650-plus goal per minute. You know, ZSL, I mean, is he really that good? He's lived up to the name, honestly. Not only has he been solid, obviously this team undefeated here in the group stages, but he actually, we had the stats a little bit earlier. I think it's something like 620 goal per minute he's averaging here in those 6 games. So, yeah, you got it right there with the Carry ACT. 678?
Yeah, he's
678 goal per minute through 6 games. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
your competition.
He's very good at farming the map. He knows when to be where. He knows where he can farm. He knows when he can fight. I think that's the big thing. He's getting a lot of his early game gold from the fights they have, because we do notice that Mixes does like to get into those early fights. So I think that's where his GPM spikes, and then he just farms off of it. So he's definitely an impressive player, but along with this whole team, they're very impressive.
Yeah. All right, so enough about individual players right here. We got the match now to talk about here, especially starting with the draft, of course. So the first pick, Monarch, we mentioned again. We've come to realize, I think, with these World Finals here that it's just different. I mean, we've expected now different things. We've seen different things. A first pick Monarch is one of those. Pestilence happens to be another hero that obviously has got a lot of attention. In some ways, he's kind of that wild card hero that kind of came out of nowhere for us, at least.
Yeah.
So. But Pestilence Monarch to start for them. You have Lord South Force and Silhouette coming out for Mith Mix. So I assume that's going to be the hands of, speaking of him, Carry ACT, and excited to see what he can do with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's typically a Punk Pang hero, but definitely it'll be fun to see on Carry ACT's hands. I'm not sure if he's actually played it this tournament yet.
Okay.
But
well, you can check.
Oh, yeah. Forgot we have that special
we
stuff
got
now.
those stats now. Big shout out to Inkland helping us
yeah.
hooking us up here with some behind-the-scenes stats to take a look at. So it'd be another tab, I think, like hero. But
yeah, okay.
Okay, point is, yeah.
He's probably maybe, you know, he definitely knows how to play it. It's one of those things. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, I want to mention the Pestilence a little bit because I have noticed that Fade hasn't been picked a lot lately. So I'm wondering if they're using Pestilence as the equivalent of a Fade in terms of what they do, because you know, yesterday I mentioned it. I was like, Fades went unbanned, unpicked.
Yeah.
And from all the games I've watched previously, it's been pick banned every game. So I'm wondering if Pestilence is kind of their new Fade in a way. I mean, obviously it's very different, but it still has that stun. It still gives the vision. You know.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing about Pestilence, he happens to be good against the Fade in a way.
True.
You know, that Swarm obviously detected through stealth, especially. So, yeah, it is interesting though, because I mean I agree with you going to this event. That was one of these heroes that I was expecting to see, and we have seen in the past from these tied teams. But yeah, we have not seen Fade yesterday, or yesterday for that matter. And we'll see if he does pop up today. But sure enough, not the case. By the way, the initial bans, I don't know if we talked about them earlier, but Doctor, Pebbles, Madman, and Parallax were those initial bans there. So give you an idea of what we're working with there. It was Warbeast into Pearl, by the way, the final 2 picks. And now we have Deadwood, Scrap, Behemoth, and Magebane bans to follow. So anything noticeable here as far as the draft continuing on?
Well, I'm just looking at the fact that PTY banned Pebbles. So I wonder if that's if Chitawan going staff is actually a threat to these other teams. If they're actually seeing it
That's
as
been something, yeah.
because you notice the combo damage is so okay. Well, now I don't feel stupid anymore. Now they're starting to pick Fade. So I mean, Fade Pestilence as a ganking force can be incredibly strong once Pestilence get a portal key. I mean, I think they can probably kill anything together with the minus armor. So
oh yeah.
I like that lineup. I mean, it's very aggressive. It's very. This looks like MRR is playing to how Mixes likes to play. They're trying to switch up their strategy because we know MRR as the team, in my eyes, more of an NAEU team where they like to farm.
Yeah.
But they're picking this more aggressive lineup. So have to see what they do.
Yeah, you know, what I also like about the Legion lineup is that nothing's determined yet with lanes. I mean, they still have a lot of possibility as far as whether they get Warbeast, again, one of these heroes off lane, jungle, we don't know. Fade, they could go somewhat of an aggressive lane setup. Pestilence, we've seen this off lane Pestilence here in the Thai region. So there's no answers yet going into the final pick, and that's pretty good if you can do that, going into, again, your final pick here. So they're keeping Myth guessing. Real quick at that Pearl pick. Again, Pearl really has kind of been another hero that's gained a lot of attention going into this event. Now in it, up against Pestilence. Again, great counter in a way. Also great against Monarch when you think about it. Being able to remove the Chrysalis. Pops the Chrysalis summoning. Pearl's like, no thank you. Asphyxiate, takes it right off. So I really think that Purge effect for the long... I've been an advocate of Pearl for a long time. I'm glad that Ty C knows what I've been pushing here for a while. That Purge effect is honestly, I think people underestimate the amount of things that actually are purgeable and it's good again. So
True.
I'm glad to see it as my point. Deadlift. All right. Fourth pick Deadlift here.
Got me on that one. Normally when you pick Deadlift, that could be. I have seen the Ties like to run the aggressive tri-lane with Deadlift. We've seen that a couple times yesterday. So could be a possibility maybe. Maybe let the Silhouette solo, South lane.
Yeah, but with Pearl, though, Pearl's not this aggressive.
Well, if you look at it this way, Deadlift roots the target, Pearl walks behind him, pushes them forward. So it's not that hero you obviously look at as an aggressive hero, but it has some capabilities to it. And if they choose the lane against the Monarch, it makes the Chrysalis kind of useless. So, it could be one of those things. I mean, they could just be normal lanes, but, they've kind of done the same thing where they haven't really revealed much of what they're doing.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you, though, that Deadlift definitely seems like when he is picked in this region, he's using that aggressive trial lane. So, yeah, I guess the potential, again, of the Pearl, the World Bubble pushes them back, like you said. It kind of sets up for that. So, and then gets kind of an aggressive hero to go with that. They have a Silhouette already. They got a Lord South Force. Something like a Puppet Master, honestly. That may be a little over the top as far as your carries are looking at, but Puppet would work well in this kind of a tri-lane setup and aggressive for that. So we'll see what Myth decides to run with here. The MRR, they're using the rest of their time. Ravener actually could have been another one, but sure enough, picked up here, snagged by MRR actually. So they just finish off with, again, this very aggressive potential lineup, a lot of upfront damage that they have, no doubt. And, I like it. They got decent synergy. They got the magic mixed with the physical. I like this MRR lineup.
I do too. It's very strong. I was actually going to say even for Punk Bang, even himself to take the Buff of Master. I know you were saying it for Mixes, but even they could have taken it there. But I've seen a lot of Ravenor in the Thailand region. I know North America's been trying to mess with it a little bit with the complexity, but the Thais have mastered it as far as I've known. They play it so much. And Defiler to finish the draft here for the Legion
let's not act like that's just a whatever.
Yeah.
Defiler final pick here for Myth Mix. I did not see that coming. So how are they laning this is the obvious initial question here. Okay, so kind of taking a look right here.
Yeah.
They could do a tri-lane of sorts with a Silhouette. Because they don't have an obvious off-lane hero, maybe other than a Lord South Forest?
I was about to say, maybe the South Forest is going off-lane with the Deadlift jungle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the possibility here. I know.
Okay, that's possible.
Some teams do like the South Forest long lane, so I really like the Defiler pick, though, this game. They're against 4 melee heroes. And even Monarch, they can catch him with the Grave Silence when it is max level. So
yeah.
I think that Defiler pick was much for the silence in this game. So Definitely good to see that hero. I really like it this game.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the idea of, again, we've kind of been seeing Defiler trickle in a little bit to our scene. The Staff of the Master effect maybe helped that a little bit, but it's still not a very popular hero. But you're right. That silence, the Grave Silence, always been a huge fan of that ability. The radius of it, it's actually pretty big. I mean, 400 radius, it's hard to kind of explain, when you can't see it in front of you, but you know what I'm talking about.
Big circle.
Big circle. You could realistically hit 3, if not 5 heroes if they're clumped up all together. And this is what, a 5-second silence, 6-second silence at level 4. That's a long time to be silenced in an AOE especially. So a fantastic tool for that purpose, and obviously Hero Ultimate definitely brings a lot of potential there. I will say, so we're talking about deadlift and how it brings a lot of potential to these tri-lane setups in Thailand. Something they haven't been showing a lot of is this really aggressive cheese push, at least that we've seen yet ourselves. This is kind of that, Defiler with deadlift definitely brings a lot of push potential, obviously. So
the only kind of cheesy thing we saw was Sync against D-Dog, where D-Dog did the silhouette deadlift with the artillery Doombringer. I remember the artillery was sitting in the base defending while the other two were out pushing. So that was the cheesiest thing we have seen this tournament, in all honesty.
And that's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, it's really cheesy.
That was really cheesy. If you missed that matchup especially, I mean, if you didn't see into the match for whatever reason yesterday, if there's one that you had to watch, personally, I thought that one was arguably the most entertaining.
It was fun.
So that was a hell of a match there. So, of course, in the end, Sync did have the last laugh, not only winning that game, but taking the first place in Group B over there as a result, ultimately at the end of it. So, anyways, we are in the pause right here. Looks like one of the teams ready. Should be good to go. Again, getting things kicked off here. We got the player boost behind us. All main stage today, baby. That's awesome, too. Knowing that we got all main stage matches. So not the players over there and everything. It's all going to be behind us here. All going to be behind us on the big screen for this audience here to enjoy. Yep. So looking forward to having some fun with that. Looks like both teams might be ready.
There we go.
And there we go. The unpause is successful. So as you see on the screen behind us,
let's get it on.
It's actually back. So there we go. Hopping into it. All right, so again, the lanes, this is the intriguing thing. What are we going to see with the lanes, specifically on the side of Myth? I mean, but again, even MRR, I don't think is very obvious. It's really going to be a lot of mind games here early on.
Yeah.
These teams.
Is this going to be Defiler in a tri-lane?
No.
Are you sure?
That one seems so silly to me. Now, I've said that several times before. I feel like this event, and they've done it, so maybe that doesn't mean too much, but...
South has pulled regen.
This is levels, though, man.
This is...
That seems so off to me if they're doing this. Oh, man.
And it's not like Defiler brings a stun. I mean, maybe the silence, but... Like, this tri-lane doesn't feel like it can kill anything. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but it just feels like it's not going to have too much of an effect, so... Maybe it's just to secure farm onto the Defiler. Maybe that's what their goal is here, but...
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of spammy abilities, so maybe it's a lot of that. It's not necessarily that quick catch and kill, but it's we're gonna
slowly bring you down.
Yeah, we're going to dwindle you down and eventually get a kill maybe as a result or push you out of the lane at least. So now you do see MRR, actually. They are adjusting here. They're going to send Warbeast in the bottom in the end. They're going to run Pestilence middle, and they're going to run the tri-lane top, actually.
Yeah.
And see, again, I find that a lot. I almost feel like that MRR, they could man up against this tri-lane here of Myth mix, and they could win. So,
I mean, this is very much a tri-lane-like complexity with draft, and it's very aggressive, and it's very, it has the defensive capabilities of it, but it has the aggression with it as well. So, I would have liked to see them actually fight their tri-lane. There was a war. Oh, it's a Rev war. Okay, so. Yeah. They just took the random gamble, and maybe they assumed it was a defensive. Maybe they are trying to find the tri-lane.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, yeah.
And they figure, why would they tri-lane? What are they going to tri-lane bottom with? So, I bet their logic is let's go shut down their tri-lane top to defend the silhouette. So
I agree.
It's interesting. I mean, we might see some rotations to get the tri-lane versus tri-lane matchup, but we'll have to see.
Honestly, I hate to suggest this because of where we're at here in the semifinals, and again, this isn't a region we've covered too often, but man, I really wonder if some of this is coming out of Myth. They finally picked that Defiler there for the reason that they wanted some more push and the science, sure, but then they kind of realized, wait a second, how are we going to lane this? It's like, and this is like their moment of, well, let's just go with this kind of. It almost feels like that's the case because it really does just seem so off. it's like not only, again, this defensive measure, but you want levels on Defiler. You really want to get the scaling with her, the ultimate as soon as possible. Start pushing the tower, be the big presence that she can be, maxing out that death wave as soon as possible, wave of death even. Yeah, so I am intrigued to see how this works. But yeah, I really wonder too if MRR, if they're going to realize that, oh crap, they're actually bottom, are they going to try to adjust to that, or will they just be settled on, okay, well, at least we're locking down Silhouette. So, well, we'll find out here shortly. It looks like there might have been a quick potty break there. Looking behind. The nerves.
Yep.
Hey, they're on the main stage.
Sure,
Best of 3, big deal here.
You got to go when you got to go.
5 million bot prize pool on the line, which comes out to about $146,000. So
yes.
I know, sounds insanely large with 5 million bot, but I mean, even $146,000. That's some good money here.
Sure.
This is not like just McDonald's money by any means. This is some good money. They all get some free mouse pads as well, so we got that taken care of. Don't worry, guys.
Already done.
No gold coins though. Silver coins we'll talk about later.
True. Wouldn't mind some silver coins. Got to finish the Midas skin, the one that only lets you use silver for. But yeah, like you said, this Defiler pick is very awkward. I like the idea behind it. I don't like the idea of how they're laning it. I almost would have liked to see South Forest in the tri-lane instead of Defiler.
Exactly.
It's just
that's what I was thinking, like a Silhouette for kill potential or South Forest, just because
it's
his presence is so much stronger than that of a Defiler in a tri-lane setup. But Defiler, again, it just seems off. We're overanalyzing it at this point, I think. It's a case of we're sitting in a pause. It's like we're thinking so much now. I wanted to start playing, damn it. I know you at home do as well, but I have to wait a little bit longer. So, so we got this matchup here. I know more people are going to start tuning in. We got the next matchup. I got to say I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to be casting it, but it will be Mathematical and Insania. They're going to do a great job, I'm sure. They're going to be covering Sync versus Complexity, of course. So, hey, I've casted that matchup many of times, but it would be fun to also. It's going to be fun watching them here on the main stage and playing here at this environment. I don't know what to expect really about that. I do not know. It could go. You think Complexity is going to win, obviously.
Well, yes. In that regard, like looking at it as a caster standpoint, I think it's much closer than people are going to look at. Obviously, from a friend standpoint, I think Complexity is going to win. But really looking at the teams, they're going to try something new here. In all honesty, one of the teams is going to maybe mess with something that they haven't really messed with yet, because at least maybe more for Complexity, because Sync's obviously, they've had the wins against Complexity of late. So they don't really need to change anything, but Complexity might look to throw a curveball against them somewhere.
Well, one of the fun points we had when we were talking about the matchup earlier was Sync versus Complexity, that was the idea, what were they going to do as far as strategy? You're mentioning, maybe we can bust in a wild card play or whatever, but they've both been running different a little bit here in this event than what we saw them, at the end of the regular season and the playoffs here, or whatever it was. Are they going to go back to what we know them as, or are they going to continue kind of this different play style, this running Pestilence, running Pearl, just running these heroes that we're just not used to seeing them play? But
not sure. Are they going to go back to the NAEU style, or keep it to the Thailand style because we're here? But I mean, in all honesty, if they go back to the NAEU style, we've seen it's been Sync that has dominated Complexity when it is that style. So I think it'll definitely be interesting to see what the two teams do decide to do, and that'll be the fun for Aiden to analyze that.
That will. He loves to do that too. So okay, looks like we're back. I saw the players kind of running back to the booths up there. It's always funny. It's like, that's right, they're real people. They have to use the restroom too. So.
See.
I think the might mean not ready.
I just want to know what pop means.
Pop? Yeah, they say that a lot.
They say it like after toilet pop, die pop.
Like, hopefully you enjoyed your toilet break.
There's got to be some meaning behind it.
Probably. All right. Well, hopefully that resume button is hit soon. Yeah, again, I like the idea of Pearl this game, though. A lot of purge effects here that are going to benefit between Pestilence and Monarch especially. So good to see that in the hands of Mith mix. So, yeah, I'm excited to see Mith, honestly. Like, MRR, I have seen it a bit now considering Thai teams. Mith, I've never really seen myself. I mean, obviously, I did a little bit of research beforehand, but again, you cast that match yesterday, and I kind of, was able to look over the shoulder, sure, every now and then, but I've been hearing great things about them. Again, they went undefeated. They beat Complexity 2-0. I'm expecting big things out of this team, no doubt. So I'm excited to see their play. Again, the draft, as we've been over, is a little funky for me, the Defile specifically, and how it's fitting in here, but he'll probably wreck with it and make me look completely idiotic.
That's how this always
and
works.
I am just fine with that. It happens often. So,
no matter what we think is going to happen, 9 out of 10 times in Thailand, it will be the exact opposite.
yeah.
This could be a famous Triland here for all we know.
This might be a thing. You're right.
There we go.
I love these Devos, by the way, that people have in the shop.
Right.
And mentioned the one with the hats and the Devo that we had up here earlier. Oh, they're fun to see. Okay. Okay. Not to jinx anything, but I think we're officially ready here for game number 1. So, okay, so here we go. Again, the Triland, it is setting up the way that we thought it was. The Hellhounds over here. They are going to. So, MRR is now aware. They're aware that this is happening. They're not adjusting now. They're going to keep going to the top lane. Again, by now, maybe a little too late, if anything. So, they're going to continue to go top. So, we'll see. We'll see now how this works out here.
Yeah.
It does. So, we're kind of criticizing this idea this whole time, but because of how the lanes are set up now, it does feel like that this will work out for Mith.
Yes.
Which is, again, odd to me, but that's how it's going to work. Yeah, because, this is going to be a free farm Defiler. So, you got a jungle deadlift, essentially. And you have Pearl's going to just babysit here.
I guess it's like an aggressive jungling lineup, the way Deadlift's going to be playing. So, yeah, I mean, in all honesty, this could work out almost slightly in favor maybe of MRR. Because now the, obviously top lane's going to win. Ravener's going to get a lot of farm. But then Warbeast bottom lane, if he continuously pulls the wave like we see Zibe do a lot of the time, he'll get farm as well. So, I mean, they're setting up to where maybe, two of their lanes will do okay. Well, one will do, really well, and the other one will do maybe okay.
I see Warbeast attempting a little bit of a pull right there, but I think, they did a good job of actually pulling it into a creep camp here, or a jungle camp even, and really didn't allow for the best pullback here from 07T. So, nice again, Mind Game's coming out, and clearly the skill level is there. They're very aware of what he's trying to do. In fact, here we go again with the Hellhound, but there's the Asphyxiate. Gonna try to push them back. Ain't gonna be enough, though. Gets a couple still. But you even see the soldier brought over to at least tackle the Warlock. So, yeah, back and forth, back and forth. Silhouette, she's going to be pressured right here, actually. Oh my, this might be a kill. One more auto attack.
He's got boost.
Health potion, the tree grapple, she will survive. That was a lot closer than I was expecting, though.
Yeah, definitely. Almost died there. Now he's got to go back to base. Already used his health pot. Wait, why is he going back to base? He just used the health pot.
He's probably going to buy a TP and port over here, but is that really going to accomplish a lot? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Who knows?
Maybe they're going to rotate here.
Oh, mid lane, though. This could be... Oh, unless...
He knows.
Yeah, he sees it.
So look at where he's positioned. Yeah, he definitely knows.
He's gone. Yeah, fade with DD. That would have been a very simple kill. And okay, so I guess we're going to see the 5-man bottom lane. 2 minutes in.
Maybe that was the idea. So maybe this is that genius strategy of everyone bottom, let's push. And they're literally 4-man bottom right now. That's something. I mean, the Silhouette, obviously, she's feeling very ineffective at the top lane, so again, it's kind of understandable there. But you'd figure that they're going to have to kind of not just continue to do this. They're going to have to spread out eventually, but...
Where's the efficiency here?
Yeah.
No one's top lane even getting experience. Nothing is in their jungle getting experience. Sill's over here taking a medium camp.
But again, it's like understandable though. Again, it is a case. You have the roaming Fate of Pearl or not the roaming Pearl, Monarch. If you're in the jungle, there's that chance you're gonna get caught like Silhouette almost did. So rather than risk dying, just say, you know what, you can have our tower. We're gonna push your bottom tower. At least get a little something here. So you can understand it as unorthodox as it looks, but I mean they're gonna get the tower kill first here at the bottom. So.
And this is something else I've seen the Thais do a little bit too. They fort the tower, forcing one of the players on the team to actually take the last hit.
Yeah.
Because the Thai teams like to let the creeps get the last hit. They like to give the gold to everyone. So I have noticed that a little bit lately, and I mean they just did it right there. They forted the tower to guarantee that someone had to take the last hit.
Interesting. Yeah, that was what ESC. Yeah, escape. I don't know if it actually stands for escape or just ESC, but anyways. Yeah. Call me SC here. Deadlift, the one getting the last hit officially on the tower. But yeah, they're still going. Silhouette, she's fell back a little bit right there. I guess she got boots, it looks like. So going to join back up with them though. But I mean, if you're MRR, definitely the secondary tower is something they're going to look to defend, I would assume.
At minute 4.
4 minutes in, yeah, that's true. Deadlift, does he even have the onslaught yet?
He does.
He does, okay. Did he get the 1 point in it? He actually doesn't even have Death Grip.
Yeah, 2 into his E. I'd almost like to see him just max the onslaught with the way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
And he's already going for Alkbones on Punk. Alkbones on Punk Bang.
Is he really?
Yeah, he just bought the Alacrity Band, I think it's called.
Yeah, the Alacrity Band.
Okay.
So, yeah, Alk Bones. He actually did that. Actually, they catch Warbeast over here with that Death Grip, but in the end, he's going to be fine. Monarch nearby. Got the secondary tower this early on. It's not the easiest to push, let alone get behind. So they are going to have to fall back and be safe with him. But Pestilence level 6 already running in. Oh, this is definitely going to at least be 1 kill. Pushback for Pearl.
Purged off the flight.
Good point. It did purge off the flight. You're right. They do still catch him with Fade, though. Auto attack's coming out. Is he going to survive this Pearl? Or Pestilence needs to be careful himself, actually. But no, the impale. And down goes Pearl. So Bloodlust kill in favor of MRR right there. As Mith is going to try to push back a little bit. But yeah, obviously those mid-levels are definitely going to start kicking in here.
Yep. I mean, no rotation by the South. South just sat mid. I mean, if he would have been there, maybe it would have helped a lot. So, I mean, but, you know, what is a level 2 still at the time going to do in these fights? So, definitely good roam there by MRR to get next to them. So, now it looks like they're going to be sitting down here with 3 people. So, this tower should be fine for a while.
Yeah, not that it's surprising that Punk Bang is going the Alkbones again. These Thai teams especially, they love their Alkbones on multiple heroes. But this game especially, you know, he's literally free farming. They're not even remotely trying to stop him. He's having the free push at the top lane. It even makes more sense this game. So it's good to see that there. I believe if it was him that played it yesterday, it might have been somebody else, but I think it was somebody from D-Dog actually.
That played the Ravenar?
Yeah, that played the Ravenar.
I think it was D-Dog as well.
Yeah, I think it was Kanon Ping, I believe is his name. But
oh, yeah, Kanon Ping, yeah.
Kanon Ping. Anyways, yeah, played the Ravenar. He went the Alkbones into Elder Parasite, so extra greedy, but hey, you know, it's definitely going to be strong potential. A lot of very quickly adding up the power, overwhelming charges, and then, you know, taking advantage of Stormblades. So, yeah, excited to see what he continues to do there. But the Alkbones picked up middle lane action. Oh, the ball line is going to be dodged by Defiler, actually. Pretty good dodge on his part. Pestilence still going in. The Swarms up. The World Bubble pushback, not enough. Again, the Impale finishes him off. Ravenar in the midst of it. The Static Shock up, but going to have to start falling back right here as they're chasing him down. Pestilence barely alive, but the bottle charges will keep him alive in the long run. 2-0 start here for MRR.
Yep. They got the early tower top as well. So, I mean, really, whatever Mixes was trying to do here, MRR matched and just did it better. So, pause.
Pause my. Gonna have a replay for you guys here in just a second while we're in this pause. So apparently a little bit of a restart here, but yeah, again, obviously the last fight right there. Now, one thing I noticed actually about Ravenar going into that fight too, and I remember we brought this up yesterday in discussion. Yeah, he does max out the Static Shock there. That's right, it was us too. And I think it was Punk Ping playing it as well. So he likes the Static Shock. It wasn't just a that game thing. This is his idea of a build. Again, he really loves the attack speed. I mean, Alkbone, Static Shock.
Yeah.
You got the Elder Parasite if he ends up going for that.
I mean, maybe his logic is he's going to go Alkbones. That gives the attack speed. Maybe with the way he's playing, he will get more damage out of maxing Static Shock because of Alkbones, because of having his E max.
Yeah.
Because Alkbones give what, like 30 attack speed. So, I mean, that's 90 attack speed.
Yeah. Just
right there early game. So I wonder if he's probably one of those players that's went to a practice game and was like, okay, let's look at it. Does W do more damage or does E? So I'm sure he found out that E did. And, I mean, that's really clever if he did.
Well, and then there's, I think, if you did the math, and again, he's probably done it, I think this build is also much more efficient for farming in general. And so I think a lot of it is that, too. Now, if they were hero fighting quite a bit, it does seem like the Stormblades would be a lot better of a tool, a lot more burst potential, and again, going to be a better presence. But if he's just going to be farm, honestly, the Static Shock does make sense. So he's got the Steam Boost now to go with the Alkbone. So yeah, very good start here for Punk Bang. And now 530 gold per minute. Pestilence also has had a very huge impact, of course. Shidawan doing great here. Level 7. Again, doesn't have the 1 point in gore. I still don't. I understand. We've been seeing this a lot, but for me, it's just like, it's a 1 point winner, man. Well, it just seems silly not to get it. But
I feel like it's just him that isn't going gore.
Is it? Okay.
I think yesterday it was him that didn't go it as well.
Yeah, we talked about that,
Yeah, it's just It's 25%. It just seems.
If it was scaling percentage, then yeah, a little
Yes.
more justification, I guess. But man, the fact that it's 25% at level 1 even. Yeah.
Even just stop a TP. Like, even if, it's not that long of a stun, but even just to stop a TP could be, super crucial. So.
Oh, they do catch. Who is that silhouette in the jungle? Carry ACT. I think that GPM average could drop down after this game because he is struggling big time. 175 gold per minute. Again, the lanes were not appropriate for him at all. Yeah, I thought I hit that button there. There we go. So he is only, 175 gold per minute. Dying again right there, for the first time, I should say. But still, nice find, and that's the Fade presence now. She's only level 4, actually. So, but even without the invis, able to get in there and set up the kill. So,
yep.
Well played there. Oh, Pearl, that was a trap. Oh, but he's going to be fine. Okay. That close.
Now, Gloves of Haste do build Elder Parasite. So, yeah, he is going to go Elder with all that attack speed. So, he likes the pure attack speed with the magic damage built in.
It's, again, that's become very evident now with the static shock build and everything. So, going to just continue that trend right here. And here comes the middle push. They got the ultimate here from Defiler. The ghosts are out. Kind of pushing this tower. You see Pestilence keeping nearby. Acting like they may look to jump in, maybe deny the tower. That would be risky. But hey, these Thai teams, they love them some risk. Not going to happen though in the end. The tower is successfully killed by PTY right here. Death Grip, it hits Monarch. Gets you too far. Chrysalis, no, he couldn't get it off. The silence, I believe, was affected him. And he could not Chrysalis as a result. So well played right there. And Leaf HB gets taken out. So the first kill of the game for Myth on top of the tower kill, but bottom lane actually, 07T goes down. He does get credit for the tower kill that Legion does, but still Silhouette, that's a much needed kill for him.
How did that happen?
I don't even know. Must have been, he probably caught him greedy, trying to push the tower. But
Warbeast had ulti, Warbeast had, okay. We'll just say huge play by Carry ACT. He's back to being the pro player that we've seen him as being this tournament.
Yeah. Are they going to continue to push here? It doesn't look like it. Seems like now Myth has decided enough is enough for the time being. Maybe wait for another ultimate to Defy, which actually is up in 25 seconds. So it seems like that this could be the mentality now of Myth is the 4-1 strat. The 4 heroes going to go around, push towers, do what they can. Silhouette's just going to try to farm right here.
Yeah, but even looking at it that way, I don't feel like they have a chance to win this game other than straight up split pushing. Yeah. He needs to be such a split pushing threat. He went Alk Bones. I'm not surprised anymore.
Nope.
Whenever they buy Alk Bones, they buy Alk Bones. So, yeah, I mean, they're in an interesting spot because I don't think they could ever out-team fight this Legion team with the way the Legion team is built. So, they're gonna have to be careful with what how they choose to push and how they choose to take fights.
Yeah. Group up at the top lane. South Forest, Defiler, and Pearl. See no resistance being put up by MRR. Again, that's where the game of do we protect ourselves or not comes into play. Knowing that this Hellborn team, that's where they have a strength, is this kind of group up and push with certain heroes. So they are going to counter push in the middle lane, meanwhile. But that top tower is definitely going down, but here comes the bottom or the middle push. You see the battle cry of Warbeast as well, obviously. Also assisting this Legion team at least, so a nice little benefit that they can take advantage of here for themselves. But the push will continue to the secondary, and like before, I think now you're going to see MRR put up a resistance, as yeah, they do.
Yep.
So Myth, oh, they're still going back in actually. Got to be careful.
Death Grip going in. I won't get there in time.
Apply some pressure. No portal key just yet on Chitawan. Still needs about 500 gold or so.
Yep, definitely close though, which is good for them.
Look at Lord South Forest, by the way. It looks like he might be going to Beast Heart wow, Helm of the Black Legion. That's what I meant to say.
They've been
finishes it.
They do that too here. The way they build their heroes is so different.
It is.
Because the way we build our aggressive heroes like South Forest are, we go Frostwolf, we go the Sheepstick, Tablet.
Utility, yeah.
Yeah, we go the utility build. They just go run in and tank and never die. So he's definitely such a threat because he just doesn't die. He's so hard to kill.
When you're kind of grouping up and doing this 4-1 strat, this push strat, I actually like the idea of the Helm of Black Legion. That's when this item is considered good, when you're trying to accomplish objectives early on in the game. And that's exactly what obviously they're trying to do here. At least push the secondary towers as soon as possible is the ultimate goal here. Now, whether or not that's actually going to happen, You know, it's going to be coming a little tougher once Pestilence gets that portal key, which is very soon, actually. Fade is still not level 6. She's got to be close. Okay, there you go. She hits level 6 right there, so she finally hits it. Alkbone's picked up on Warbeast, so those are going to be coming out now. And I wonder what kind of build 07T is going to go for here. If he's going to go more this right click, or will he get the puzzle box? I know we have seen a puzzle box here recently on Warbeast.
I've always been a big advocate of puzzle box on Warbeast. I love doing it myself, so it's definitely strong. It definitely gives you a really big team fight threat. It gives you a lot of solo kill potential as well, so would like to see that. But mid lane here.
Man, Silhouette is so squishy still. The Ghost Marcher's on top of the Ogbones as Fade, barely evades. Even pop in her ulti right there just to make sure. So, good escape from God KSSA. Portal Key Haste Rune on Pestilence currently, so he could definitely pick up a kill right here. Oh, he doesn't have Gore, maybe not. He's porting middle lane.
Yeah, they want to set up here. They want to defend this.
He going in? Yeah, he's charging in. He's stunned 3 heroes, actually, as the swarm is applied to Defiler. Doesn't get the team support in time, though. Undying coming out. Ravender, he jumps on a Deadlift. Deadlift goes down. Down goes Pearl as well. Could not bubble in time, actually. Defiler gets taken out, and now Swords out Forest. He's a tank man. Do they have any stopper? Yeah, yes, they do. The Impel hits, and down goes South Forest. A 4-for-0 exchange in favor of Neolution Esports MRR. That holds. That was beautiful.
Ravenor just did an insane amount of damage. I mean, first off, start off with a huge stun by Chidowan. Gets 3 heroes. That is so hard. So, yeah, we're going to see a replay of that fight now.
Get another look at it. That initiation from Chidowan right there again. The 3-man stun. I mean, you can tell he was kind of flying a little longer than I expected, and but that was because he was positioning himself perfectly, you know, being the great player that he is. So, he hits the 3 heroes. The swarm on Defiler. Clearly, that's their targeted choice. Yep. Get him killed as soon as possible, which actually he didn't die for a while, but yeah, you mentioned Ravender going on to Deadlift, just dropped him, and then melted. Again, Pearl not able to get her bubble off was a pretty big deal, too. Yeah, if she gets that bubble off, maybe changes the fight a little bit, but couldn't get it off, and thus the fight an easy success, really, for MRR. So they got a lead now. They got quite a bit of a lead here, 7,000 gold, 7,500 experience lead. It's really a game now of Myth. Again, how strong can carry ACT truly be? After this slow start, he is picking up steam now, but he's going to have to play the survival game big time at this point.
Yeah, they have to dodge at this point. They can't even go run as 4 heroes and go push anymore, because at this point, the Legion team can probably defend with even 2 or 3 heroes if Pestilence gets a good stun. So there's not much they can do other than just sit on their side of the map, try to get as much farm as they can on the Silhouette without him dying. Maybe getting a pick here and there. Yeah, they were trying on the Fade mid, but yeah, they need to get something going. They need to get some picks going. They need to get some farm going on their carry.
I know we're only 15.5 minutes in right here, but honestly, the fact that the Teleporting team does not have a secondary tower kill yet, I think is the strategy has kind of failed in a sense. Because again, it was very evident that was the goal they were going for. This kind of early push with the Deadlift Defiler, especially Lord's Out Forest, Helm of the Black Legion, as we've been talking about. So now Silhouette joining them again, I don't like. It's no. Why is she with them? This idea of push is kind of already fallen apart. They really need her to just get 100% farm, and now they're in trouble right here. Pestilence jumps in the background. Another pick done. The bubble does come out, but in the foreground, Silhouette trying to skirt around. They're all clumped up actually right here. Pearl's still alive. That bubble is doing some work, but another Impel stun comes out. Monarch with the cleansing winds right there. They do lose Ravender in the midst of this actually, despite the circuit head even, but the team falling now for Mix right here, and Silhouette will get picked up. Pestilence able to land another stun and eventually drop her. Lord South Forest still plenty alive, but the numbers-wise in favor of MRR. So again, goes back to exactly the point going into that fight. Silhouette pushing. GG, well played. Wow, you can tell right there. That is a sign of Myth being on tilt a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And MRR, they take game number 1 in dominating fashion.
They played. When you look at MRR, they play so well. They knew when to take what fights early game. They knew when to not take fights. They knew when to be patient about things. I mean, as well as Punk Bang did that game, I have to say Chidowan played amazing.
Yeah.
We saw him hit 3 to 4 people every time he stunned. So it's just he did a fantastic job that game.
It's not it's not a surprise that he's picked up
Yes.
Pestilence, several times in this event, and this hero in general, again, has become pretty popular right here. So, yeah, did a great job. Even before the portal key, was able to be a presence. We saw him go to the bottom lane. We might see the replay here as we got some highlights of that game that we just watched, obviously, but maybe we can get that monitor turned on for us here. We get the chance so we can actually see what we're looking at, but I'm sure you guys are looking at some plays. Nobody's listening to us.
Yep.
Anyways, so you've seen some plays right here of the game. And Pestilence, again, 3-0-6, 430 goal per minute. Again, a fantastic performance from him. But, yeah, overall, this aggressive play style, I do fault Mith a little bit here, not to take away from MRR, but their lineup, they kind of really pigeonholed themselves into this strat of the 4-1. That we're going to push. It had to be successful in a lot of ways. It wasn't, and you could tell it just kind of fell apart from there. So I don't know if there really is much else to say on that strategy other than, man, MRR, they're here to win.
They look really good.
They look really good. So the undefeatedness of Mith is no longer. They went 6-0 in the group stages. They lose game 1 here to MRR. So anything else to add on that game, you think?
No, I just Chittawan MVP.
I'm still a little surprised it went so quickly.
Yeah, it started
minutes.
and then it ended.
But yeah, you do hope for Mith's sake that they're not on tilt.
Yeah.
Like it kind of seemed like they might have been at the end right there. Because again, Silhouette grouping up with them. It's like the one chance they had again, Silhouette farming herself. Wasn't the case in the end. Obviously, they lost that fight and they GG'd at 16 minutes. So MRR takes the game, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, we are going to go on a short break right here. But this is the best of the 3. In matches like this, we've seen many times before. Even the best teams going at it. One team dominates a game. Other team comes back the next game. They do the very same thing.
Definitely.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that here. On Tour World Finals 2016 continue here on Honcast. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.